It is Meal Prep Monday, and Seanna Thomas joins us now. Sean, I'm so glad you're safe in the comfort of your home after that massive snowstorm.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. We didn't get our street plowed until pretty late last night. And then again, it just piled up. So I'm so happy to be able to still join you guys because I still have all this delicious food to show you. And today it is all about comfort.
Yes, and I was telling the producers, not only are we yearning for comfort food with all this snow, but I wanted something that would be easy for teenagers to make and to feed hungry teenagers, and you've got just the recipe for that.
Do I ever? And I have 3 teenagers at home, so these recipes are perfect. You're right. Not only are they going to love eating them, but they can completely help make them. So a little project for all the parents who have your teens at home today. So first, I want to start with these sheet pan quesadillas. So not only are these a great economical recipe, you probably have everything in your pantry right now, so which is good because no one's going to the grocery store today. But this is great for feeding a bunch of hungry teenagers, great for football games or, hockey games if you're watching that and staying at home, because it makes a ton all at once. So basically what we do is we take these regular just flour tortillas, and instead of making individual quesadillas for everybody, we are making a massive sheet pan quesadilla, as you can see right here. So my version is meatless. I use black beans in this one because, I like to have that protein, but also add in a little bit of that fiber. So we're using regular tortillas. I mash up the beans because I find if you just leave them whole, they kind of fall out of the quesadilla a little bit. So I mash them up with a bunch of different spices and some lime juice, put those in there, cover it in cheese and whatever vegetables you have, peppers, onions, whatever you like in your quesadilla, maybe some diced up tomatoes, and then a little bit more cheese, and we fold everything on top of itself here. And then what we do to bake it and make sure it stays like this is we actually put a piece of parchment paper on top and then another baking sheet on top and put it in the oven like that. And that's how it bakes and melts. And then you take it off to get the top all nice and crispy. And then you can cut it up however you want in triangles. I like to make these nice big squares. And then in the middle, you can kind of see here, there's all those layers of cheese and meat and veggies. And I like to serve it with a dip. Of course, you can do salsa and sour cream and guacamole, whatever you like. But I like to actually mix some Greek yogurt, of course, with some salsa, a little bit of lime juice. You can add some hot sauce in there as well, like I did. And then you have a great dipping sauce and you put it out in front of, the TV, and everybody's happy.
Okay, you're blowing my mind right now with that second sheet pan on top. Do you leave it on for the entire time it's baking?
Yeah, so we put it in at 375 for about 20 minutes with that baking pan right on top, and it keeps everything nice and flat and together. And then you just take it off for about 10 more minutes to let everything get nice and crispy on top. But it really keeps everything down, because otherwise the tortillas start to lift, and then you have more of a quesadilla bowl than an actual quesadilla.
Okay, my mind is blown right now. That is the most helpful tip. I'm going to try that. Now on to a dish number 2. This has piqued my interest, a dumpling noodle bowl.
Yes, so this is really cool. So I have seen some different versions of this online, and I've decided to make my own at home and sort of lighten it up a little bit. But basically what we do is you can find these packages of dumplings, or dumpling wrappers, I should say, in the freezer section of your grocery store. And they look just like this. So, you can, of course, make your own, but I'm probably not going to do that. So I go to the freezer section, I get these dumplings, and we put them in boiling water and cook them up just like this. So these are our noodles for the dumpling noodle bowl. And then what we do is we cook up, you can cook up ground pork if you want to keep it, an actual, like, dumplings are mostly pork based, but you can lighten it up with ground turkey like I did. You can use beef. I do want to say, use what you've got in your house, especially on a snow day like today. Definitely, go into your freezer and see what you've got. But then you cook all of that up with some delicious, delicious flavors like sesame oil, soy sauce. I threw some chili crisp in here. We've got some rice vinegar in there, a little balsamic, because I love when you have those dumplings, that sauce that you dip them in has that little bit of a tang. So we have all of that in there. And then I cook up some bok choy. I found these beautiful little baby bok choys at the grocery store. And then you mix all of that together and you put in your cooked dumpling noodles, and it is a full meal. It's under $20 for a family of 4. it is so delicious and flavorful and super, super comforting on a day like today.
My mind is blown right now, Seanna Thomas. These are all great recipes for the family, and I love the fact that it's also very conscious of nutrition, but also the cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, we really have to be aware of how much things are costing these days. And if we can keep things under 20 bucks for a whole family, and this one's more around 10 to feed everyone, I mean, that's where it's at for sure.
Thanks so much for joining us, Seanna. And for more information, you can go to SeannaThomas.com. We'll see you next week.